All right, good morning. This is Jeff Scott. Today is Monday, the 10th of October, and I sent you two emails this morning because unfortunately I sent the first one out too early. So the first email that I sent out to you said, as it says in there, today, hands-on test 5 or HOT5 on chapters 9 through 11 will be given. Really, there's nothing on it from chapter 11. The test was attached to the email. And as it says, I'm going to be lecturing for 10 to 20 minutes at this time. I'm going to go over what the test is all about in detail. The test must be turned in to your Git repo no later than 11:59 p.m. this evening, Monday, the 10th of October, 2022. I've made a change. I decided that rather than doing these chapters out of order, that I'm going to jump right into chapter 12 tomorrow. All right. And we're going to start on object-oriented programming. And we're going to spend at least the next 2 weeks on that and probably the next 3 weeks on that, on object-oriented programming. We will go over chapters 12 through 16, concentrating mainly on 12, 14, and 16. A little bit of 15 as well, but 13 we may go over, but you won't be responsible for anything in there. All right. Now, after I sent that out, I realized that when I sent the test to you, which we're going to go over in just a minute, I forgot to put something on it, and that's on me. All right. So as it says there, for an extra 15 points, you can create a second form which I call the splash screen that will come up when the program starts. All right. Let the user go back and forth between this splash screen and the main screen. And I'm going to explain this to you right now. In fact, let me change my share. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to immediately change my share over to Visual Studio. And there it is. So here's pretty much what mine looks like right now. So when you run the program, I just made this up. I found a picture of a card store online. So I called it Kathy's Cards Cash and Carry. Now, this right here, what you see on your screen, this is my splash screen. It's pretty simple. When I click main page, it goes to the main page, and I can go back again to the splash screen. If I click exit, it'll ask me if I want to exit, and if I say no, it keeps me there. All the stuff you've seen before. There's nothing really in there that's at all new. Let me run it one more time here. All right. So once you click and you go on to the main page, and again, you don't have to make this because I foolishly forgot to put that in there. But if you do make it and it works, and it's pretty much an all or nothing here, have some kind of a label, some kind of an image, and two buttons. A button that jumps from this page to the main page and a button that allows you to exit. If you put that in there and it all works, that's 15 free points. But here it is on the main page. All right. So notice again, I can jump back to the splash screen if I want to. Okay. So you should have, I had 4, but you should have at least 3 different types of cards here. So notice I'll choose birthday, which is here right now. And there's a birthday card 1, 2, and 3. So there's card style 1, there's card style 2, there's card style 3. And where did I get these? I just went out and Googled them. All right. So let's say that I choose birthday card 3 as is shown right here. All right. So that's $2.50. Let's add an envelope. So that's $2.75. Let's add a stamp. So that's $3.25. And let's add a message. Now, when we add a message, notice if this is not checked, this is grayed out down here. All right. I believe it's a multi-line text box. Could be I believe that's what it is. And when I click on it, boom. So I can come in here and say, I hope your birthday is fantastic. Now, on the test page itself, it showed the message in here, and you can do that if you want to. You could add another label right here to do that, or you can just do what I did, and that is take the message and basically show it as a message box. So when I click calculate, custom message, I hope your birthday is fantastic. And again, $2.50, $2.75, 325, 355 if I did my math right there. And there it is. Oh, 385 it says. 250, 275. I don't know why that says 385, but it does. 250, 275, 325. Should have been 355, I believe, but I don't know. Let's try a different one. So let's try a thank you card. They're $1 each. There's thank you style 1. There's thank you style 2. There's thank you style 3. I like that one. So $1, $1.25, $1.75, should be $2.05. You know, your kindness is appreciated. All right, so I click calculate. Your kindness is appreciated, $2.05. So again, $1, $1.25, $1.75, $2.05. All right, so again, if you do decide you want to put that splash screen in here, otherwise you might just have a calculate button. If you want a clear button, that probably would have been nice to put in too, but I didn't. Splash screen gets you back and forth. All right, I'll keep this up for just a second. And I am going to quick change my share and go back to the actual test page. All right. So write a GUI application. It should be called Card Designer GUI that allows the user to design a card. You should be able to select from 3 occasions. Again, for example, birthday, anniversary, graduation. You can put wedding, sympathy, whatever you want. And each of these occasions should have 3 different styles. All right. And each card style should have a different base cost. You make up that cost. All right. So again, on mine, like the thank yous were $1, maybe the birthdays were $2, etc. All right. Anything that's reasonable that you want to put in there. You can add an envelope. These are all check boxes here. So these are drop-down lists. Label, picture box in here. All right, text box and label. Again, if you want to go in and add, I added buttons in there to calculate. I thought that made more sense. If you do decide you want to put that down here, you can do that. You can put in basically a hidden label and print that out there. I didn't like the way that looked on there. On many of them, I had to sit there and play around with it to get it where it was in a decent place. So I just put it in there as a message box. All right. So again, you can add 25 cents an envelope, which is with a checkbox, 50 cents for a stamp with a checkbox, 30 cents for a custom message with a checkbox. So if all these are checked, that's 25, 50, 75. That'll be $1.05 more than whatever your card cost is. All right. I think that's everything that's in here. So looking at the grading then, which is on the second page here, lay out the form as it's shown. Again, if you decide you want to add a couple buttons in here, all right, one button to go back to the splash screen and one button to click to calculate, that's totally fine. All right, but at a minimum, it should look like this. If you do that and lay it out, rename the form, FRM Card Designer would be fine. Rename the form text Card Designer like it's shown here. Set the accept button, the cancel button, and the start location. That's 5 points. The tab order, setting it up, it should make sense. Probably 1, 2, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. The picture box can't have a tab order. And of course, if you do use buttons in yours, update that tab order from what I showed you accordingly. All right, control names used follow naming conventions. All right, labels should start with LBL. Check boxes with either, CB for checkbox or CHK or something like that. All right, etc. You get the idea. Picture box, pick, PIC or PB, whatever you decide. But be consistent. Variables and constants are used. Well, what does that mean? Well, if you've got the same card cost for a thank you, if each thank you is $1.25, then make a constant thank you cost. Set it equal, make it a decimal, make it 1.25 M. All right, type of thing. You can set constants for envelope cost. You can set a constant for stamp cost. You can set a constant for custom message cost, etc. All of these can be set up like that. Modularize the program. All right. And this is going to be pretty much an all or nothing type of thing. If you don't modularize, you're just going to lose the 3 points. All right. Probably should have changed that and made that worth more, but I didn't. All right. The occasion dropdown, it's configured and implemented correctly. All right. Now, if there's no entry in there, so, depending on how you set this up, what kind of dropdown it is, if there's no entry in there, or if you just want to make this pick an occasion and pick a style, but if either it's empty or it's got one of those messages, you really shouldn't be allowed to go in and do a cost. And if you do, you should say that basically you've got to choose something here. And that goes both for the occasion dropdown and the style dropdown. Again, they must be configured and they must be implemented correctly. Do you notice that's 20 points? The message section should be configured and implemented correctly. So this should be disabled unless that checkbox is checked. And if you uncheck it, that should become disabled then. All right, the user can select from 3 different occasions, and I gave you 3 examples. You don't have to use those. Use any occasions you want. 3 different styles for each occasion. Notice that's 5 points and 5 points. The base cost is calculated and updated correctly in all cases. All right, so it should always give you a correct cost. All right. Same thing with the cost of the envelope. Use a constant, and if they've checked it, you should add 25 cents to the total cost. Same thing with the stamp. If they have checked it, you should add 50 cents to the total cost. Same thing for the custom message. If it's checked, you should allow them to enter a message, and you add 50 more cents to the total cost. So the total cost, as it says, is shown and it's calculated correctly. So the base cost must be right, and then the total cost, so the base cost is this. Total cost is this plus these. It is possible if, like right here, we had chosen thank you and tree 125 like this, and this was not checked, and this was not checked, and this was not checked, the total would be 125, and that's okay. You can only enter a custom message if the checkbox is checked, and you can preview the custom message on the card. Again, the way that I did it was with a message box. All right, if you have any questions, I will be online this morning from now 8:20 until 11:55. I am scheduled to lecture in my afternoon class from 12:05 till probably about 2:30. All right. And after that, I will be online to answer any questions that anybody has. And I will be online tonight. Now, when I say I'll be online tonight, all right, after dinner, so after about 6:15, from 6:15 to about 10 o'clock, I will be online. If you have any questions, need any clarification or whatever, I will not be sitting there by the computer for that entire time. Rather, I will check the computer every 15 to 30 minutes, and if you've got questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. With that, good luck. If you get a chance, please take a look at chapter 12 for tomorrow. It's going to definitely be the hardest thing we've done thus far. And again, any questions, jpscott@rankin.edu. Thanks.